Am I the asshole for firing my cleaning lady for cleaning? I've had my cleaning service for roughly 3 years as my husband and I routinely work 12+ hours a day and are often sent away, as well. Since the beginning, I've had a strict rule of do not clean the living room. Ever. This is due to me keeping a very elaborate aquarium, 1,300-gallon reef, and cleaning products used near it can kill my fish. Because of this, I'm the only one who cleans the living room. A few days ago, I noticed a few of my fish seemed to be breathing heavily and a lot of my coral was closed up. This is a very well-established tank and it's been running for the last 7 years, so I immediately knew something was wrong. Most of my fish are just as old as the tank and I've had very little sickness happen, at all. Fortunately, my setup allows me to do massive water changes and I was up until 8 a.m. changing probably 80% of the water. Despite my best efforts, I lost a lot of fish. Seahorses had their own section of the tank. Rays. Various tangs. But, the losses that hit me the hardest were my Moorish idols and a 6-female tessellata moray. My entire tank was set up for the idols, specifically. I spent over a year preparing it, before I even got them. My moray, Bill, I'd had since he was under a foot long. I hand-fed him all of his meals. While I was trying to figure out what could have possibly caused my tank to crash, I noticed that the living room was clean, spotless, even, and I knew what happened. Chemicals got in the water and killed almost everything. I immediately called my cleaning lady and lost it, telling her that she had one thing to remember. And it shouldn't have been possible to forget, seeing as the reason took up almost an entire wall of my house. She told me she'd hired a new girl and must have forgotten to explain to her that she wasn't supposed to clean the living room and continued to ask if she'd done a good job. I replied that she'd done such a good job cleaning. She cleaned out my tank's inhabitants and told her she wouldn't be returning to my home and she wouldn't be paid for the week. She didn't take that very well and started threatening to bring me to small claims, because the job was still done and done well, apparently. I basically told her to kick dirt and she's lucky I'm only firing her and not suing her, due to the thousands of dollars I'd lost due to her mistake. Everyone keeps telling me, they're only fish, just buy more, or, she was just doing her job. I'm sure the poor girl feels horrible enough. Maybe I'm just letting my anger and upset cloud my judgment and I'm being unreasonably harsh, but I loved those fish. They weren't just fish to me and I loved them all very much. So, please, am I the asshole for firing my cleaning lady for cleaning? Edit. Thank you guys for being so kind. A lot of people are suggesting I sue, or at least lawyer up. I do have a lawyer on retainer, just because of the line of work I'm in, but I have no plans on suing, unless she tries to make a claim against me for a measly $150. I live in an incredibly small area, so word of mouth will be damaging enough. Not the asshole. They're not just fish, they're members of your family. You've hand-fed a moray for how FC King long. I don't even hand-feed my kids for that many years. Your loss was substantial and tragic for you and preventable if they would have just listened. They killed your pets. Obviously the value of the fish is much higher than the cost of the cleaning service. So you could do a rough tally of the cost to replace then and let her know you'll be counter-suing her for that amount. Not the asshole. Saltwater junkie here. Moorish idols are insanely hard to keep alive even by pros. Aside from that, reefing is an expensive hobby which takes immense dedication and time. Their response is just disgusting. They accidentally killed your pets and should be horrified. They have no idea that you have to start over from scratch. I'm so sorry for your loss and hope they come around and attempt to right their screw-up. Oh, and not the asshole. Not the asshole. It sounds like they knew they screwed up, and you lost a lot of fish. Firing them sounds totally reasonable. Not the asshole. Wow. I ran a cleaning company and this lady messed up in one of the worst ways. If this is a legit company, she has business insurance for things like this. I would 100% pursue it. This is major negligence. Not the asshole. Your cleaning service hired a new cleaner and did not adequately instruct or brief them on how to clean your house. As a result, you have lost priceless marine specimens who had lived with you for a long time and you were attached to. Hugs. Not the asshole. You asked them to do one specific thing. They missed that, and in doing so caused thousands of dollars in damage, let alone the emotional impact. If she keeps pushing the court idea, point out the amount for which you could countersue. Not the asshole. You hired her to do the job, because you trusted her, and instead she sent in a stranger who she apparently wasn't even supervising. You can be sure if you paid her that not a dime of it would get to whoever actually cleaned anyway. I've had cleaning people break thousands of dollars of stuff in my house before and I paid them anyway because I knew it was an accident. This was total negligence though. Am I the asshole for making my teenage daughters sleep in the same bedroom again? My husband and I have 2 daughters, aged 15 and 12. We live in an apartment with 2 floors, the top floor having a slanted ceiling, basically an attic. We have 2 bedrooms downstairs and 1 bedroom upstairs. For a long time, the bedroom upstairs was just a storage room, as our daughters have shared a room since the youngest was born and have always liked that. Now about 3 months ago my youngest started becoming very teenager. Why? She will stay up very late texting and giggling into her phone, spend hours and hours in her room talking to her friends on her laptop, mistreats her sister when she asks her to turn off the light or be quieter. So my oldest asked if it would be possible for her to move to the upstairs bedroom, as the situation didn't seem to be resolving with us talking to the youngest. We let her. We even remodeled both bedrooms, making them more suitable for each of them. Things were fine for a while, but now that the weather has been getting hotter, my oldest reported that she hasn't been sleeping because the room gets very hot. I'd noticed it did during the day, but it turns out that's also the case at night. I've even tried sleeping there, per my oldest's request, and I could only sleep with an AC unit on all night. The problem is that my oldest is a very light sleeper and the unit is noisy, so she can't sleep with it on all night. She has been powering through, especially now that school is off, but she has been falling asleep everywhere and looking super tired, so obviously that's not a long-term solution. So we told my daughters that at least during the summer, and probably winter, as the attic gets super cold in the winter and I'm assuming we'll run into a similar problem, they'll have to sleep together again. This is possible because, when we remodeled their rooms, we gave each of them a pull-out sofa so they can have friends over. My oldest was fine and very relieved and totally happy with being on the pull-out sofa. Our plan is that they'll still have separate bedrooms and all that, it's just going to be sleeping that they'll do in the same bedroom. My youngest, however, was not happy. She said her sister was the one who moved out of their room, that she now doesn't want to have to adjust back to her sister's routines and give in to her demands of being less noisy or going to sleep earlier, and that she doesn't want to share a bedroom. I gave her the chance to trade bedrooms with her sister, then, but she says she shouldn't have to get the hot bedroom when it was her sister who chose separate bedrooms. But my oldest only chose that because her sister basically drove her out. I really put my foot down and said that they'll have to sleep together again for the time being, at least while we try to find a better solution. But my youngest keeps saying I'm showing favoritism towards my oldest, and I've even heard her calling me and my husband some not so nice names while on a call with her friends. So am I the asshole? Not the asshole. She was on the phone calling you names, and that phone is still in her possession? Seriously? Not the asshole. You're dealing with 2 teenage daughters. Your job as parent is to make sure both of them are cared for. If one isn't sleeping, then that one isn't cared for. You've given them several reasonable options to resolve the situation. If your daughters can't pick one they can agree on, you as a parent get to pick the fairest solution to everyone involved. Not the asshole. But the youngest should be moved upstairs, since she is the one who created the issue in the first place. And I'm not saying offer, I'm saying demand. She was rude to her sister, she does not get the more comfortable room as a reward for being selfish. Wait. Your 12-year-old stays up all night texting, that isn't a problem for you. The whole argument is over sleeping conditions, I understand. But how are you not controlling your 12-year-old? Why doesn't that bother you? I am confused. Not the asshole. Youngest is being a brat and is looking for excuses so she gets her way, so she claims favoritism. Nice try, but won't fly. Oldest deserves to be able to sleep. Is there a way to insulate the attic? It'll cost a bit more, but to make that a usable room for either child would be ideal. Not just during the milder seasons. You are the asshole for not parenting and making your kid get off her phone at night. There's no way my parents would have put up with me disturbing my sister's sleep just so I could be a teenager. Your kid needs to surrender the phone at bedtime and stop ruining her sister's sleep. First of all, you're the adult, it's your house, and your daughter, I understand, is going through some stuff as she enters her teenage years. That doesn't give her the right to be disrespectful towards you or her sister. Your oldest deserves privacy and comfort instead of playing zombie during the day and sneaking naps. Is there really nothing you can do to switch their rooms up? Even remodel again? I would especially shut down your younger daughter's attitude. Tell your youngest that she can move upstairs if she's not happy. Most of the time the older sibling gets first dibs on living spaces and such. Sounds like the youngest is a bit controlling but still relatable. Nah. Am I the asshole for moving out over bacon? I am 20, moved back in with my old man and my stepmom of 2 years. Moved back in because he recently had his arm amputated, and stepmom is super active. Every morning she goes for a 1-hour jog, and spends 2 hours at the gym. As a teen I worked at a pig farm. 4 things I saw there was enough to completely turn me off pork forever. The idea of pork makes me want to throw up. Sometimes I think it gave me some sort of trauma because the idea of eating pork makes me anxious. Every Sunday she makes bacon, eggs, and pancakes. My first Sunday home she made some comment about me not taking the bacon and I explained I don't eat bacon. She said something like, "Well, what about vegan bacon?" I said yeah, I'd eat it. Next Sunday she says she bought vegan bacon just for me and I about cried. I didn't know her much, so I found it sweet. Sorry if that seems silly. My dad said something or another about how it seemed different but he liked it. I tried it and it was good, but greasy. It made my stomach turn a little because I thought of real bacon grease, but the taste was good enough I pushed through. One Sunday while she was cooking I went to throw something away, and I saw the bacon package, not vegan. She was casual, she said the store was out. Okay, I just had eggs and pancakes instead. I even thought, wow, it smells the same as the vegan bacon. Last week she made bacon sandwiches. We started talking about pigs. My stepmom got annoyed and said, "I bet you'd like real bacon if you tried it." I said, paraphrased, I can't remember what I said, "It might taste good but the whole time I'd think about all the gross crap I saw." She scoffed and said, "Want to bet?" My dad said to stop bitching, and we finished eating. She went out for a jog before bed, and in the shower I couldn't stop thinking of the argument. I started to suspect the worst, which made me feel super guilty at the time because why would she feed me real bacon? I got out of the shower and straight to the garbage. This is gross, but I dug through the trash until I found the bacon wrapper. Not vegan bacon, as you know. The fucking grease from it was on my hands and I legitimately threw up into the sink. I scrubbed my hands red, and then used my phone to call her, but the grease didn't wash off and I could see smudges on my phone. I've never seen my old man so pissed. I really don't want to talk about what went down after, but it was pretty bad. I am staying with friends now, my choice. My dad is heartbroken and while he's on my side, he says I need to tough it out and stay and help him. Stepmom hasn't said a word to me. I haven't mentioned their relationship but he said some stuff that makes it clear he's been fighting with her, but they're staying together and still love each other. Which I'm glad for, obviously. I know it's not my fault she blatantly tricked me, so please don't be jerks. I am specifically asking if I'm the asshole for leaving my dad who needs my help over this. Not the asshole. What she did was beyond disrespectful. If he wants you to stay and help, then she can GTFO. Not the asshole she violated your body. That is completely unacceptable. You have a right to choose what goes into your body, and she deliberately lied to you to make you do something you were not okay with. It's deeply unfortunate that your father is with such a vile person, but you have a right to never be around somebody who did that to you again. Not the asshole, to be honest. I think your dad is asking too much. She knew exactly what she was doing and what she did was cruel. I don't know how your dad expects you to look past something so massive and to be okay with being around her. He's being selfish. Great that he's defending you, but that's not enough if he's just going to rug sweep it all in the end. And she hasn't even apologized, the cherry on top of the shit sundae. Not the asshole. What your stepmom did was absolutely despicable, and I'm happy to see that your dad is acknowledging that and dealing with it. That said, why the hell is he staying with someone who is prioritizing jogging and going to the gym for 3 hours per day over helping her spouse, who just had a major surgery? It would be one thing if he was independent, but it sounds like he needs help, and a lot of it. There's something very wrong with this relationship. You're not wrong for getting out of there, but maybe you should have a frank conversation with your dad about the kind of person he married. Not the asshole. What the fuck is up with people forcing other people to eat things? Why is this a thing? Why do they care? It is never okay to try to force or trick someone into eating something they don't want to. Not the asshole. It's not about a few pieces of bacon. It's about this person's blatant disrespect of you. If your dad needs help, that's reasonable, but that doesn't make you obligated to deal with that level of incivility. Showing up for an hour or two when his partner is at the gym would be extremely good of you, but you would still be not the asshole even if you washed your hands of the situation. Not the asshole. What she did was malicious with intent to do something against your morals. That is an asshole move. I'm sorry she traumatized you. Not the asshole. Your stepmom is. Who cares if you don't eat bacon? It's honestly not that big of a deal, she can just do enough bacon for herself and your dad. Or, if it's that much of a problem for her, you can just make your own breakfast. I would stay and help your dad if you can, but make it clear you won't be eating any bacon she makes, even if she insists it's vegan. Am I the asshole for being upset with my sister for getting pregnant? My sister, 28F, and brother-in-law, 28M, have been trying to have a baby for some time. A few years ago, they got a dog. Ever since then, they've been pawning the dog off on me, 33M, and our parents, 50s. Between me and my parents, the dog spends about 3 weekends a month with either me or our parents, and probably 4 or 5 weekday nights a month. I generally don't mind taking care of the dog. He's low maintenance. Sister and brother-in-law enjoy going on trips together with their friends on the regular, especially with the pandemic winding down. Back in May, Mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. Although it's stage 1 and she has a great prognosis, she is going to be on chemo for the next 12 months and has been going through some painful surgeries, lumpectomy, port placement. There are some rough months to come. My sister's philosophy with having a kid is that we have a supportive family and can help out with baby care. They don't have means for daycare and both work full-time. This would generally be true. I love kids and I know I will love being an uncle someday. But I tried reasoning with her back in May that now might not be the best time with Mom being sick for the next year with the chemo. Sister went ahead and got pregnant anyway. Of course that's her choice. But now she's complaining of morning sickness and pregnancy woes and has been skirting out of her previously agreed upon end of driving Mom to her appointments. Not to mention we have a grandma, 95F, that Mom usually takes care of that we have to take over for with Mom out of commission. Dad is a severe alcoholic and is pretty much drunk immediately after work, so he's useless even drinking while my mom has cancer. I'm on FMLA from my job to help out, which is fine as I have a good amount of savings. I do feel bad for looking like I'm dictating her life decisions. I hate being that guy. But I feel like all the expectations placed on me while sister is voluntarily pregnant and sick is unfair to both me and my mom. It also feels like a general pattern of entitlement on my sister's end. And I really am fearful she's going to dump the child on us like she has done with the dog while Mom is still sick. She and brother-in-law don't seem like they're in any rush to give up their lifestyle yet, and my sister's friend, who is the daughter of close family friends, routinely dumps her kid on her parents who are retired as she and her husband join my sister and brother-in-law on their trips. I don't doubt my sister thinks she will be able to do the same. I haven't expressed my disappointment with her decision to get pregnant right now. But it's coming out in my attitude. Edit. Just to be totally clear here. I'm excited my sister is going to have a baby. It's not the pregnancy itself that upsets me. It's using the pregnancy as an excuse to get out of what she committed to. Further, my sister is working. If she's well enough to work, I don't see why she can't hold up her end of the bargain. Not the asshole. It sounds like you guys are all living in a situation right now where a lot of things are going on at once and it can be very stressful. However, I also don't think your sister is an asshole for getting pregnant at this time. You mentioned being afraid that she will pawn the baby off on you, and if she does that, she would be an asshole. You need to stand your ground and make sure that they take care of the baby since they chose to get pregnant, especially if you are doing so much to take care of yourself, your mom, and your grandma. Not the asshole, but the pregnancy is a done deal now. No use worrying over the soon-to-be spilled baby formula. Since primary caregiving has been dumped on you, it's probably time to have a family meeting to decide how to make it more equitable. This may mean your sister pitching in financially to hire home health aides to help out with your mother and grandmother so you don't become overwhelmed. Depending on where you're located, there may be aid to apply for from the government. Not the asshole. You have excellent cause to feel the way you do. Your dismay is justified. You seem to have a very clear understanding that you cannot control her decisions, and as long as you don't actually tear into her for getting pregnant, your feelings are your feelings, not actions. You can tell her that she sucks for bailing on her promise to help with the needs of your mom and grandma, and that you resent the fuck out of her playing social butterfly and leaving you holding the entire damn bag of the current situation. Including the dog. You just can't tell her straight up that she shouldn't have gotten knocked up. I hope your mom's treatment is successful and that her side effects are minimal. I'm a little baffled here. Your father, the husband of your mother, has no responsibility whatsoever and you seem totally okay with this. But your sister is the devil here? Not every pregnant woman goes through a long sick phase and she didn't voluntarily get sick. It also doesn't mean she be unable for the whole pregnancy. This might get better. You are the asshole. This is a tough one. If she's been trying to get pregnant for a while, it's not fair of you to berate her for it even with your mum having cancer. God forbid the worst happens. Your mum could be delighted to have had a grandchild. However, your sister dumping her responsibilities on you guys is unfair on her part. Unfortunately, it's also a two-way street of codependency. You all need to enforce boundaries more, which would rein in the entitlement. I really understand your frustrations though. The burden shouldn't all fall on you. And I think it's not fair to make her feel guilty about such an important life decision. For that reason, very soft, you are the asshole. Not the asshole. They are not equipped to deal with a baby of 25% of the time they can't even care for a dog. And already skirting responsibility for your mother is not a good look either. She sounds like one of those parents who have a baby just because it's cute, not because they actually want to be a parent. You are the asshole for telling your sister not to have a baby. Your sister is the asshole for pawning off the dog to you and not helping out with your mom. Regardless of if she is pregnant, you shouldn't have to take a leave of absence to take care of your mom. I mean, yeah, you are the asshole. This isn't about the pregnancy. This is about you being an overworked caretaker and your mother's husband being a drunk poss. It doesn't really have anything to do with your sister other than her expectations, which you just gave to be clear you won't be meeting. You're focusing on a single leaf instead of the forest here.